Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 3 picks up where Chapter 2 ended, with Boruto walking towards Code using Rasengan Uzahiko. And Code is kind of just as confused as we are. It's like, what's Rasengan Uzahiko? What is he doing? So Boruto walks towards him, and as he's about to try to hit him with it, Code catches his arm and then tries to attack him, and Boruto blocks it with his sword. And now they're just kind of like in this holding grip standoff against each other. And Code's like, it sounds like a powerful technique. It's too bad you won't be able to hit me. And then Boruto's just like, I'm already halfway there. And we kind of see that Code's arm is getting like the wind or whatever's surrounding him. It kind of looks like wind around him. It could be chakra. It could be any number of things. But it's surrounding him. And he's kind of like, whoa, what is that? And then Boruto tries to give him one final warning. He's like, are you really going to make me do this? You know what I mean? Do you want to die? And then Code is just like, stop talking about killing me. You're never going to kill me. He tries to hit him. Boruto dodges it. He tries to hit him again. Boruto dodges it. He tries again. Boruto dodges it. And he's just like, he's not dodging like in a regular way. There's something to his technique that I don't know about. And he's like, stop moving. He tries to get him one more time. Boruto dodges, gets in close, and then hits him with his palm. Rasengan Uzahiko. And then we get cool art of him getting like hit with the technique. And then we see Code flying away. And he's in pain. He's like, ah. He falls, and then he's just kind of like, oh. You know, barely standing. He's just like, oh, what the heck was that? Then we cut to Ada and Damon talking about it, and Ada's just like, that's it? That was Rasengan Uzahiko? What a basic technique. And then Damon's like, so Boruto's the one that's making the floor rumble. Or should I say the whole Earth? It uses the planet's rotation. He's like, interesting, very interesting. And Ada's like, the planet's rotation? So then we cut back to Code, and he's stumbling, you know what I mean? He's tripping, he's stumbling, falling, you know what I mean? He's just like, what's going on? And Boruto's saying like, the reason you're feeling these effects is because I use the planet's rotation. So he takes the rotation of the planet like a regular and treats that as the Rasengan. He channels it through him, and then he hits his opponent. And there are after effects, and the after effects of this one is he kind of has this rotational spin. And it can kill him. It's like he'll never stop feeling that feeling unless Boruto takes it away. He can rescind it. So he's basically offering him, you can die right here, right now, or you can take me to where the Ten Tails is. Do it. So that way, you know what I mean? You don't know the horror of the Ten Tails. This is kind of like what he was insinuating before. It's like, take me to where the Ten Tails are. Ten Tails is, and I'll take it away. Otherwise, you'll die right here, right now. And Code is just like, you know, and he just wants him to give up where the Ten Tails is. And then out of nowhere, from the right or from the left, in comes Kawaki, trying to hit Boruto, and Boruto dodges it. He's like, Kawaki. Then we also see Team 10 and Himawari enter, and then Boruto takes special interest to Himawari. He's like, Himawari, wow. You know what I mean? He hasn't seen her in 3 years. It's crazy. And now Kawaki and Boruto and Team 10, they all kind of have like a standoff. They're like, what are you doing here, Boruto? And Boruto's like, I'm trying to make a deal here. Can you mind? Like, butt out? You know what I mean? Don't get in my way. And then Code is kind of like, you know, I gotta get out of here. So he tries to like go through his claw marks on the ground, and Kawaki seals them up, or he shrinks them with his Sukuna Hikuna. And now he's just kind of like, you're not going anywhere either, Code. You're dying. And so eventually Code kind of gets a claw grime out of his like, he has like a claw mark on his face, and it comes out of there. And then Kawaki's like, oh snap. He kills that. And then Code jumps through another claw mark on the claw grime, and he escapes. And now Kawaki's like talking to Shikamaru, and he's like, he got away. What are we supposed to do now? And Shikamaru's like, darn it. You know, we had an opportunity to kill him right here, right now. Listen, there's no chance that he's just like completely giving up. You know what I mean? That he's just gone for good. You need to destroy the rest of those claw grimes so that way he has no chance of coming back. And everybody's like, okay. And Kawaki tells Team 10 and Himawari, you guys go on ahead. I'll catch up. I need to talk to Boruto one-on-one. And so now we kind of have like this last kind of like one-on-one with them. But then it cuts to Sarada. It cuts to her basically investigating what's going on with the tree. How Soegi got transformed into it. And she's like, the claw grime are supposed to be like the Ten Tails is like supposed to transform into a divine tree, but that's only if it eats an Otsutsuki. So maybe if it eats something that isn't an Otsutsuki, it becomes a defective divine tree. It just becomes a regular tree, let's say. So she's kind of like, but they're not dead. So Egi isn't dead in there. He's just in some sort of like asleep. He transformed into a tree, but he's not dead. He's still alive, but he's just like, he's in a tree coma, you know, if you will. He's stuck in there. So he's like all messed up. Then we cut back to Kawaki and Boruto, and Kawaki's just like, what's with your outfit, huh? You and Uchiha adoptee? And then Boruto's like, yeah, it's great to see that your smack talk hasn't changed, but I am happy to see Himawari looking well. So that's the cool thing, is that that's like a good thing that Kawaki has done, is that like, he's at least taking care of Himawari in some way, shape, or form. Although, I would say that she's like more friendly with Team 10, I guess, with that group of people. But anyways, they start talking, and Kawaki's like, you're prepared to die now, aren't you? You showed up in the village, you showed up in front of me, you must be ready to die. You must be ready to die right here, right now. And Boruto's like, dying in Konoha, it's not a bad idea, but not today. I need to do something else. And that's when we kind of see a little toad pop out of Boruto's cape or his shirt or his clothing or whatever, and it's like, all right, infiltration complete. Code went back to base. And we cut to Code back at his base, and he's kind of like, still feeling the effects of Uzuhiko, still spinning. And he's walking towards where the Ten Tails is kept, and he's like, what the heck? What's going on? And then we see a little toad, we get to see a little toad creep out of Code's clothes as well, and it gets a good look at the Ten Tails, and it's like, okay, confirmed, we know where it is. And it kind of talks back to Boruto. It's like, we have eyes on the Ten Tails. And Boruto's like, great. And he puts up a hand sign. And that's where the chapter ends. And I have to say, it was really cool to see Rasengan Uzuhiko at work. It was cool to see Boruto just like show off more of what he's been training on, what he's been doing since, these last 3 years. It's really cool to see him working towards it. I think it was really cool to understand the explanation behind it, how he uses it, how it's still a Rasengan without it being like the regular Rasengan, you know what I mean? I like Kawaki and Boruto standoff. I liked the explanation of the tree, how it's more so like, this is what happens when they bite anybody else other than, say, Boruto or Kawaki. They're just going to turn into a tree, a random coma tree and whatnot. So then we also kind of like get a glimpse of Code's hideout and what he's like kind of been hiding out doing. We also see that Bug, who he like kept in is kind of like his companion, kind of not. It was more so like a henchman, you know what I mean? But we also see him turned into a tree. So he's in a tree as well. And then we kind of also see that, like, Boruto, when he hit him with Rasengan Uzuhiko, a toad, like, flopped onto Code at the same time. So they have a way of, like, communicating with each other. And then, finally, we got to see Boruto use a hand seal, a hand sign of some kind. And it's speculated that it's supposed to be for the Flying Raijin. And that's where, like, a lot of speculation and theories of like, okay, what's he gonna do now? And it just kind of makes most sense. There was a lot of hype around it. I feel like it was a really cool way to end the chapter with like, perfect, let's do it. I thought that was so cool. And it kind of like, it leaves you wanting more, is basically it. It's like, oh snap, he's gonna teleport over there using the Flying Raijin. That's so cool, So that's the basic idea, and that was a really fun way to end the chapter. In terms of like understanding where the story is going or like moving forward, I feel like we didn't really get any of that until Code escaped and went back to the Ten Tails, and Boruto was able to like use the toad to like figure out where the Ten Tails is and confirm it and stuff like that. And also learning what like the trees are. I feel like that was a good explanation. I feel like that's going to be, an important part of the story moving forward. Let's see. I think action-wise, there was just Boruto versus Code, but it was also a new jutsu, so I feel like they needed to take the time to like show it off and like what it can really do in its entirety, which I'm not mad at. I thought that it was really interesting to watch and to kind of like look how they did the art style for it and how they explained it as well, so I thought that was really cool. In terms of characters, the main character that we really learn most about is Boruto. We learn about the Rasengan Uzuhiko and how he uses it. We also learned that he has a toad that he's like communicating with, and we don't know like who he's communicating with through those toads. You know what I mean? It's like he's using the toads, but maybe he went to Mount Miyoboku and trained with the toad sage. Like we don't know like what he's like talking to or how he's communicating with them. So it's kind of cool to see. Like there's a little mystery in there, which is cool. In terms of like understanding what's going on in like the world of Boruto, like how does this chapter change the world? The tree, obviously, and Code still being on the loose, and the Claw Grime still invading the village, I feel like is a huge part of it. And then the ending was really cool. Very hype, and it's like, oh snap, he's gonna get over to the Ten Tails, and then we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? So it kind of like keeps you, you're anticipating the next chapter, which I think was really cool. So overall, I think I give the chapter a 7.8 as well. I think that continuing off of the last chapter into this chapter, I think that they kind of feel equal in a way. Like how can I put it? Is that like it feels like a full chapter, like those two put together. Like it feels like a great continuation of it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like anything was like significantly improved. It just stayed really, really hype and really fun all the way through. So yeah, 7.8. Yeah, it was a great chapter. I thought when I first read it, I was like, wow, this is really cool. A new jutsu, a new Rasengan variant, you know what I mean? A new way of using it. So I thought it was really fun to see that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Yeah.